This is Doug with DT Excavation. Today's project is replacing a high water alarm on a septic tank. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel out. Okay, this alarm failed a few days ago, and I come out and checked the pump out, and the sewage pump is operating properly, but the alarm is malfunctioned, so we're going to replace it. We got to open up the lid. And that's basically what you're going to find whenever you're dealing with a sewage pump on a septic system. The pump is down in the tank there. You can't see it, but you can see the discharge line and the wiring from the floats going up into your whatever type of control panel you have. So let's go ahead and take this control panel apart. I've already killed the electric. That's the first thing you want to do on an electric project, is you want to kill the electric. Problem was, okay, this panel's pretty corroded. Okay, we may just have to cut the wires. Sometimes you have to do that. Just cut it up as close as you can so you have plenty of wire to wire into the new box. Okay. Now there should be two float wires right here, but it looks to me like they may have gotten pulled loose. Okay, might need to get a hammer to get them loose. I believe that the float wire may be been pulled out. I think I see it in there, I'm not sure. This is the float wire here. There it is. See it coming up and out of there? Right there. Okay. Now we need to get these two locking rings right here off of your conduit. And you just generally just take a hammer and just peck them backwards, or whatever you have to beat with. And you want to go counterclockwise. All right. Well, I got these two locking nuts off, as you can see right here, and they was right over top of the conduit pipe. So you want to get those off. And the next thing is there's two screws that holds this unit on. So we want to go and buzz this off real quick. Okay, now your unit should be loose, and all you do is you just pick it straight up and just pull it off of your conduit and your wires. This old unit here is it's no good, so you might as well throw it away. The next thing we want to do is we want to pull the new float wire through our float conduit. And I'll show you a little trick that's always worked fairly good for me over the years. This conduit goes down under the ground, goes into this riser. You want to look down here and find the wire, which is, this is it right here. Cut it loose. Okay, now here's your float. So a trick that you can do is just cut this float off. Just discard that. Get your new float. Get it prepared here. You've got all your attachment stuff here. We're going to put on a little bit later. And you want to stretch your wire out here so it's not all clumped up. Now, you just get you some electrical tape. What you want to do is you want to tape these two together. And what you're doing is, that way you can pull the new float wire through the conduit as you're pulling the old float wire out. I overlap it a little bit, like so. Don't have to be any special distance or anything. And then you just tape it on. You want to make sure that you give it a generous amount of tape so it doesn't pull because there's an elbow in here. You don't want it to get pulled loose on that. Just tape these other wires here down flush. Then anything like this tag, you know, it'd be beneficial for you just to roll this up tight so it's not hanging inside of the conduit when you're trying to fish the wire through. Now sometimes this procedure is not available because the wires got pulled through. So anyway, here's what we do. See, this one here was tucked in like that. So you just pull the wire. See, it's going into that conduit. And then you get the new wire fed in. That's not going to work. That conduit is a little bit too tight for me to do it that way. So we're going to have to, I don't have a snake with me, so I'm going to see if I can push it up in there without a snake. If you have a larger diameter conduit, that procedure will work well. But that conduit there is on the smaller side. It's 3/4 inch, and it would probably be fine, but it's got a nut on the other side, and that is restricting it. Anytime that you have a electrical project that you need to do something similar like this, and your conduit is big enough, it will work. Pull this one out, and we've got to feed it in this way because our float has to be on this other end. So let's try this. Okay, I'm shoving it in there. Okay, as long as that wire will stay stiff enough, there it is. Okay, we've got our new float installed through the conduit. We got our wires here that are prepped. Just need to go and skin them off. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to prepare this. This is a Zolair outdoor alarm, and this sewage pump is a Zolair. So we need to go and get this ready to mount on there. Okay, we've got our new alarm, we've got our old alarm. Now we need to drill holes in the bottom of this new alarm. So one way you can do it is just take and line up this old alarm on the bottom of the new alarm, and take you a marker and go and trace your holes. And that way you've got the correct spacing on your holes. Now the next thing we want to do is take the panel off here. Okay, this is just it just kind of fits down over this housing here, as you can see on this model. And what you want to get, which is really handy, is they call this a step bit or speed bit, but what it is, it's actually several drill bits in one. And you just want to start, you know, here in the center of your hole. Just get where the bit starts to bite in. Now you don't want to go too far and drill out the hole too big. So what you want to do is you periodically want to go and see, now we're almost there. We just need just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, that's all we need there. Just a smidge more. Okay, yep. Okay, and you just bend your wires up to get them through here. Back up where you can get your float wires in. Okay, and that way you have it secured to the panel. Now what you can do is go and secure, you know, this unit to the pedestal here. To get this secured to the wooden pedestal here, So we've got some lag screws. Probably gonna have to finish that up with a ratchet. I can't quite reach it anymore. I believe that's a 1/2 inch. You don't want to over tighten it because you'll pull it out of the wood. You just want to get it snugged up on. That's enough where it's holding it. Okay, see how that kind of snugged up? That's good. Now, one problem that I see that we're going to have here, but it's really not a big deal in this installation, is these nuts. Where these two conduits are attached to the pole and come up, this box is a little bit narrower than the other one. So I doubt we're going to be able to get these stop nuts on there. See how close that is? And then that's just about too close for these knobs to go around. But that's not going to hurt anything because the box is secure, so it's not going to pull up off that stake. This installation, your conduit is in the barrel, underground. Everything's covered and been settled for years, so that's not really a huge worry because everything should hold. But anytime that you put this on a new installation, you always want to put those nuts in to hold it into the box. But we got the 2 lag screws. See, there's nothing coming loose, so that should be fine. Pull this out here a little bit so we can get it prepared. We are going to need to lengthen our ground wire here a little bit. Okay, we've got it wired up now, and like I said, we got it mounted to the pole, and we've got it wired up, and you can see our power wires coming in here. Your hot and your neutral. Ground goes over here and goes up to this lug. These other 2 lugs is for your float, and it doesn't matter which wire goes where. Because the float is just a switch that when it's tilted up, it'll make connection. So that's what it should look like whenever it's wired up. There's different makes and manufacturers of high water alarms. This happens to be a Zolair, which I like really well. So this is what this looks like. Now we're going to go and put the front face on it. Okay, we have the front facing reinstalled on it. So that's back in place. Now the next step is we need to go and turn the power back on and test the float. Okay, we're getting ready to take the pump out, which you take this big nut and you rotate it around and the pump will lift straight up and out of there. Okay, here's what the sump pump should look like. The stand, we've got the floats are on. This bottom float here kicks the pump on when it's up like that. And if it would happen to water go above that, and this float comes up, then it sounds an alarm. So that's the way the high water works. So we are doing a repair during the 2024 solar eclipse. And the eclipse is fully in effect here where we're at. We're not in the totality, but we're along the edge of it. So that's the sewage pump. I'm getting ready to reinstall it. Okay, here's what your final installation should look like. We got our pipe and our union reconnected. We've got all the wires are zip tied to the pipes so they're not in the way. And if you look down in there, you can see the main pump float that kicks the pump on. And then on the other side, down there, you can see the high water alarm that's above it. So everything is back in and operating. That water you see running is a weep hole to drain the water back so it doesn't freeze on the end of the pipe on the leak line. It has a drain back. So the sump pump is installed. We just got to put the lid on it. And the panel is installed. I don't know if you can see that little green, kind of like lightning bolt. It's lit up green, so we got power, and it means it's operating. So anyway, this job is complete. See you on the next one.